Artificial. System online.
Welcome to Surviving AI with Carlo Thompson. This is Season 2, The Protection Playbook.
We are building your immunity to automation, one deep dive at a time.
And before we get into today's material, which is truly critical, please take just a second to subscribe and hit that notification icon.
That way you'll never miss an episode that's designed to future-proof your career.
Right. We are continuing our season on career immunity.
And today we're tackling what is, I think, maybe the most essential and definitely the most counterintuitive protection play in the entire modern economy.
We're talking about the skilled trades.
Exactly.
I want to start with a number. And, this number should probably be considered something of a national economic emergency.
Okay.
550,000.
Right.
That is the projected shortage of plumbers in the United States by 2027.
And that's just one trade. I mean, that's just plumbers.
Not in some distant sci-fi future. Like 2 years.
When you look across the entire spectrum, you look at electricians, especially the ones who can handle the kind of power that these new AI data centers need.
Mm-hmm.
And then HVAC technicians for all the industrial cooling. The demand is being described by people in the industry as astronomical.
So here's the paradox. This is the big question we have to solve today.
Okay.
We have a career path. It has job security that cannot be outsourced. It cannot be automated.
Right. It's estimated to be about 95% protected from AI risk consistently.
It pays six figures. It requires zero college debt. In fact, you get paid while you learn.
Yeah. Why is nobody choosing it?
Exactly. When so many people are, rightly worried about their jobs, why is this the one career path that almost nobody's choosing?
That is the central problem, and that's what we need to unpack in this deep dive.
Last time, in Episode 7, we looked at protected jobs in healthcare and public safety.
Today, we're focusing on infrastructure. The foundational need for physical human labor that AI simply cannot do.
So our mission today is to really dismantle that college or bust mentality.
We're going to walk you through the hard data. We're going to show you why electricians, plumbers, and HVAC technicians are, in fact, the new recession-proof knowledge workers.
And why ignoring this field isn't just a cultural mistake. It's a massive financial and professional mistake.
Yeah.
Let's dive right into what we're calling the grand paradox of the AI age.
Okay.
AI is threatening millions of, highly educated white-collar jobs. We're talking about analysts, programmers, writers, admin roles.
All the jobs that people went into six figures of debt to get a degree for.
Exactly. The very positions they spent 4 years securing are now being seriously challenged by large language models. But, and this is the key, for AI to even exist, it needs a level of human labor that is completely non-automated.
That is the defining irony of this entire moment, isn't it? AI is not magic. It's profoundly physical. It lives in these enormous purpose-built building data centers, and they require massive real-world construction and constant, really complex maintenance.
And the scale of investment in this digital infrastructure it's not just big.
No, it's resetting national priorities. It's historic.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's get into the hard numbers on this AI infrastructure boom.
Yeah.
What are we seeing with global data center capital expenditure?
The numbers are, frankly, hard to wrap your head around. Global data center CapEx hit $430 billion in 2024.
$430 billion.
And it's projected to jump dramatically to $598 billion in 2025.
Wait a minute. A jump of that size? That's a 25.8% increase?
In a single year.
For infrastructure spending. That's almost unheard of.
It is. Looking out just a little further, total global spending could pass $1.1 trillion by 2029.
A 25% single-year jump in infrastructure CapEx is just, it feels like an anomaly. Infrastructure is usually slow, right? Deliberate.
It is. This is different. The AI boom is frantic. The demand for processing power is doubling every 6 to 12 months.
So that money isn't just going into buying more chips.
No, that's the key distinction here. The money is going into two main buckets. The hardware, yes, the chips and servers, but also the physical shell that's required to house and power all that hardware.
The building itself.
The building, the power, the cooling. In fact, the construction side of things, specifically power distribution and cooling infrastructure, that is the most lucrative and fastest growing segment in the entire U.S. data center market.
Because the physical shell has to come first.
You have to have it.
So if we narrow that 1.1 trillion figure down,
yeah.
What about the market for just dedicated AI data centers, the ones for the huge models?
That market on its own was valued at about $13.6 billion in 2024.
Okay.
Projections show it rocketing up to $60.5 billion by 2030. That's driven by a sustained growth rate, a CGR of around 28%.
So this isn't a bubble. This isn't some quick spike that's going to level off.
No, this is a sustained exponential growth curve. It's directly tied to the expansion of the AI models themselves. As long as they get bigger, this demand gets bigger.
And this demand is being driven by these, generational mega projects. These aren't just big buildings.
No, they're utility-scale construction sites. Think about the scale. There are projects being planned right now, like the rumored Stargate initiative, that are looking to invest $500 billion over 4 years.
$500 billion.
In new AI infrastructure right here in the United States, we're talking about collaborations that are aiming to develop a platform with 7 gigawatts of power capacity.
Okay, hang on. 7 gigawatts. For those of us who don't, work at a utility company, what does that actually mean?
It's an enormous amount of power. 7 gigawatts is enough to run, say, a small city.
The whole city.
A whole city. Or think of it this way, about 3 million homes all at once.
Wow.
And the physical infrastructure you need to manage that, to distribute it, to cool that much electrical load, that's why the demand for qualified electricians and industrial HVAC techs is astronomical.
You need new substations.
You need vast lengths of specialized cabling, complex power distribution frameworks, redundant cooling systems, all of it. And it all has to be installed, inspected, and maintained by human beings.
And we're seeing these projects pop up across the country already. Texas, New Mexico, Ohio, Wisconsin.
And they are so big that they're effectively propping up construction labor nationally.
Right. The rest of the commercial construction market is slowing down.
It's slowing down dramatically because of remote work, but data centers are more than picking up the slack. The U.S. data center construction market generated over $88 billion in 2024.
$88 billion.
And it's expected to hit almost $153 billion by 2030. This is now the largest source of private sector commercial construction demand, period.
So even if the office and retail markets are struggling, this digital infrastructure demand creates a whole new kind of protected economy for the trades.
Absolutely. And it all comes down to the most foundational need, energy.
Let's talk about the consumption.
U.S. data centers consumed 176 terawatt hours in 2023.
And a terawatt hour, just so we're all on the same page, is a trillion watt hours. It's a measure of immense energy.
It is, and the projections are, frankly, a little terrifying.
What are they?
By 2028, estimates suggest usage could hit anywhere from 325 to 580 terawatt hours.
So on the high end of that could be up to 12% of all U.S. electricity.
Exactly. If we hit the top end of that projection, nearly 1 out of every 8 electrons in the country could be flowing into a data center.
That's staggering. It just highlights how unstoppable this demand for power and cooling really is.
And you need human hands to build and maintain the systems that handle that load.
We can see the regional data, too, like Virginia.
Virginia is a huge data center hub.
Yeah.
The industry contributes about 74,000 jobs a year there. But here's the critical part.
Yeah.
80% of those jobs,
80%.
59,000 workers, are directly tied to the construction phase. The real economic value, the job creation, it's concentrated in the physical act of building and maintaining these places.
That's the ironclad link. The digital revolution depends entirely on the skilled trades. Okay, so we've established the demand. It's immense. It's driven by these trillion-dollar projects.
Right.
Now we have to tackle the second part of this protection play.
Right.
Why can't AI just automate these jobs away?
This is the core of it. And it comes down to the nature of the work itself.
Let's get into the trade-by-trade analysis. Let's start with electricians.
Electricians have one of the lowest automation risks of any major career path. It's estimated to be between 5 and 15%.
5 to 15%. Why so low?
Because their work environment is inherently non-standardized. It's unpredictable.
Before we get into why the robots fail, let's be clear about the barrier to entry. This isn't a 6-week coding boot camp.
No, absolutely not. It's a serious commitment. You're looking at 4 to 5 years of apprenticeship.
4 to 5 years.
Then you have to get your journeyman license, and you need ongoing continuing education to keep up with code changes.
But And this is the part people miss. It's paid training.
It's paid training. You start out earning between $40,000 and $50,000 a year while you learn. This commitment, this barrier to entry, is what ensures the quality is high and the pay stays high.
And the demand drivers for this trade are they're exponential now.
They are. There are 3 massive expansions happening all at once.
Okay, we know data centers are number 1. Huge electrical systems, grid connections, all of that.
Right.
What are the other 2?
The second one is renewable energy.
Okay.
On average, renewable sources like wind and solar are over 2.5 times more labor-intensive across their entire life cycle than fossil fuels.
Wait, back up. 2.5 times more labor-intensive. Why?
Because a centralized gas or coal plant has a few highly specialized techs in one fixed location.
Right.
Renewable energy is decentralized. The labor includes the initial installation of all those solar panels, a market projected to grow 48% by 2033, plus maintenance, plus connecting all these decentralized systems into microgrids.
So it's the decentralized nature of it. It requires more people in more places.
More highly specialized technicians constantly traveling, diagnosing, and installing new systems.
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense. And the third driver?
Grid modernization and EV infrastructure.
Right. All the chargers. But also the push for smart grids and microgrids. That requires electricians who can troubleshoot advanced control systems, automation, network protocols. It's a skill set that is in extremely short supply. This really counters that whole dirty work stigma. This is high-level intellectual labor that just happens to be physical.
It is.
So where does automation fall short? Why can't a robot do this?
It really boils down to the unpredictable environment. A robot can't handle the reality of electrical work inside an existing building.
You mean like an old house?
An old house, an old office building. Anything that isn't a brand new, perfectly standardized construction. Diagnosing a complex intermittent wiring issue in a 100-year-old building.
Where nothing is up to current code. And nothing is where the original blueprint says it is. That requires human judgment, pattern recognition, and real-time problem solving that AI just can't replicate.
The physical reality defeats the code.
It does. I mean, try to program a robot to run a wire through a conduit that's tucked behind ductwork in some non-standard crawl space. It takes human dexterity, spatial awareness, and improvisation.
And then there's the whole safety and liability part of it.
Exactly. Code compliance and safety liability demand human judgment. You can't have a robot making a judgment call that could, burn a building down.
And what about repair work?
Service and repair work is the big one. That's expected to remain over 95% human well past 2040. When a critical system goes down at 2 a.m., you need a licensed human being to show up and figure it out.
All right, let's talk about the money. We have to challenge this assumption that it's a low-paying career.
The earnings path is robust. As we said, apprentices start with pay, $40,000 to $50,000.
And once you're through that, once you're a journeyman...
Then you're firmly in the $60,000 to $80,000 bracket. The median salary for 2025 is projected around $60,600, but that number is skewed down by all the new workers.
Okay, so 60 to 80K with zero student debt.
Zero student debt. That's the key.
And what's the ceiling?
The ceiling is at the master level, or with specialization. Master electricians are routinely over $100,000.
$100K plus.
And if they specialize in industrial systems, building automation, or data center infrastructure, the top 10% are earning over $104,000. And that's as an employee.
The lifetime ROI, when you factor in no debt, is just, it's got to be higher than a lot of four-year degrees.
For many of them, it is, yeah.
Okay, we've covered the power. Now let's talk about the foundational life support systems of these buildings, the pipes. This brings us to the plumbing crisis.
This is the trade that is facing the most immediate demographic crisis. Plumbing has an extremely low automation risk. We estimate it between 5 and 10%.
And the shortage number again?
A staggering 550,000 plumbers needed by 2027. They are retiring far faster than new ones are being trained.
That 500,000 worker figure is just. It proves that the market isn't working properly. High demand and high wages should attract people, but they're not. There's a cultural block here.
There is. And the reason it's so protected from automation is that the work is always done in unseen, unpredictable environments.
Right. It's all behind walls or under floors.
Every installation is unique. The core of the job is complex diagnosis and repair. Think about trying to locate a leaking pipe inside a wall cavity or under a foundation. It takes immense experience, spatial reasoning, a kind of intuition.
A robot can assemble a new car on a factory line because it's standardized. It can't diagnose a blockage from tree roots in a 40-year-old sewer line.
Exactly. It's the unpredictability of every single service call that defeats standardization. And standardization is what you need for automation.
And that unpredictability is what drives the pay for emergency work,
which commands premium rates. Emergency calls are often $100, $200 an hour, or even more. So while the median salary is strong, around $61,500, and seniors are in the $70,000 to $75,000 range, it's those emergency rates and the path to owning your own business that really pushes the earnings ceiling up.
And plumbing is modernizing too, right? It's not just wrenches anymore.
Not at all. The trade is integrating smart home tech, smart leak detectors, tankless water heaters, gray water recycling systems.
And all of that still needs a human to install it and service it.
And crucially, to interface the physical plumbing with the digital controls. Again, it creates that need for a hybrid worker.
All right, finally, let's talk HVAC. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. This seems fundamentally tied to that data center boom.
It is absolutely foundational. The automation risk for HVAC techs is also very low, 5 to 15%.
And the main driver is cooling for AI infrastructure.
It is. Data centers generate so much heat. Average server rack densities are rising fast. We're seeing new facilities that have to support racks that are over 30 kilowatts.
That's an incredible amount of heat in a very small space.
Yeah.
The cooling system is as critical as the power system.
It is. If the cooling fails, the servers shut down. The whole operation grinds to a halt.
So why is this job so protected?
Two main reasons. First, the complexity of troubleshooting these huge industrial systems in unique buildings. But second, and this is a big one, it involves regulated substances.
Let's talk about that regulatory barrier. That's a powerful shield.
Handling refrigerants requires specialized EPA certification.
The government actually controls who can do this work.
The government controls who can legally touch these systems. This mandatory certification is a powerful barrier to entry for any kind of unlicensed or automated system. You are essentially guaranteed that only licensed, certified humans can do this work.
So the law itself guarantees human employment in this field. That's another layer of protection.
It is.
What's the entry pathway and pay look like for HVAC?
The entry path is often a bit quicker than a full electrical apprenticeship, which makes it really appealing for people changing careers. Typically 6 months to 2 years of tech school, plus an apprenticeship and getting those certifications.
And the pay.
Median pay is strong, around $57,000, but the real money is in commercial work.
Servicing data centers.
Servicing those industrial cooling systems.
Yeah.
Those technicians can easily command between $70,000 and $90,000 a year, or even more. The commercial focus pushes those earnings way up.
Okay, so we have massive, unstoppable demand. We have jobs that are inherently resistant to automation, which brings us to the big glaring problem.
Right.
If the jobs are so secure and they pay so well, why is there such a monumental shortage?
It's a perfect storm. It's a demographic time bomb hitting a wall of deep-seated cultural resistance.
Let's start with the scale of the labor gap, the whole construction sector.
The sector as a whole needs to attract about 439,000 new workers in 2025, just to maintain what we're doing now.
Then that number is going up.
It's projected to surge to 499,000 new workers needed in 2026.
500,000 workers next year. That's stunning. And this is all happening while the current workforce is retiring.
In droves. The median age of a skilled tradesperson right now is around 46 to 48 years old. Which means over 50% of them are eligible to retire in the next decade.
So an infrastructure boom is colliding with a mass retirement exodus.
An exodus we are completely unprepared for.
Why is the replacement pipeline so broken? What happened?
A lot of it traces back to the 2008 financial crisis.
Right. The housing bust.
When the housing market collapsed, apprenticeship programs were cut way back. A whole generation of young people were steered away from construction.
And we never recovered from that.
We never did. The construction labor force today is still short, about 550,000 native-born workers compared to where it was in 2006. That pipeline was never rebuilt.
And now demand is spiking because of AI.
And our current workforce development pathways they can't fill the gap. The demand is more than double what the current apprenticeship programs are likely to provide.
And the programs we do have.
Yeah.
They have a retention problem.
That's a huge, expensive problem. About 40% of construction apprentices don't finish their programs.
40%? Why?
It can be the physical demands, the travel, sometimes just not enough support. It's a significant leak in the pipeline.
And this shortage has real-world costs. This isn't just an abstract number.
No, it costs the residential construction industry about $10.8 billion a year.
Wow.
That translates to roughly 19,000 single-family homes that don't get built every year.
Which is a direct contributor to the housing affordability crisis.
It's a massive systemic impact. It all comes back to this cultural aversion to the trades.
Which brings us to the core issue, the cultural bias. The numbers are all there. High pay, security, no debt. So why are young people choosing debt and uncertainty over this guaranteed path?
It's the perception problem. It's so deeply ingrained in our schools, our society.
Just parental pressure.
Intense parental pressure. The idea that a 4-year university degree is the only respectable path to success.
The only intelligent path.
Right. People still associate the trades with dirty work or as a fallback for someone who couldn't, make it in college.
I remember my own parents pushing me away from anything physical. There's a real fear there, a kind of economic memory from the last 40 years where we told everyone that management was valuable and making things wasn't.
And the way to counter that, the only way, is with the reality of the work.
Which is?
This is high-skill, intellectually demanding labor that happens to be physical. An industrial electrician isn't just connecting 2 wires. They're troubleshooting complex control systems that involve higher-level math, physics, deep electrical code knowledge, things that would baffle most college graduates.
And the code is always changing. It requires lifelong learning.
Constant, rigorous learning. The difference between a 6-figure master electrician and a general laborer is entirely about technical and intellectual skill.
And these jobs are tied to the physical world, which is their ultimate immunity.
That physical presence is the key. In April 2025, the overall telework rate was about 22%.
Okay.
In construction. It was just under 10%.
Because you can't install a circuit breaker from your living room.
You can't automate physical repair.
Yeah.
And you cannot outsource a plumber to another continent when your pipe bursts. That lack of remote capability is literally what makes them AI-proof.
And it's important to stress, the shortages are worst in the jobs that require the most training. Electricians, plumbers, HVAC. The market is screaming for highly skilled, certified knowledge workers. This brings us to the financial reality of it all. If you're listening to this and you're trying to figure out the best return on investment for your career, we have to compare the 2 tracks.
The debt-laden white-collar track versus the debt-free trade track.
And the contrast is huge.
It is, primarily because the trades offer paid training from day one. You are not starting your career $50,000, $100,000 in the hole.
You're earning money while you learn, starting at $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
Earning money, building skills, and accumulating 0 student debt.
So let's map out the earnings ladder over a full career.
The latter has a very strong, secure foundation and a massive ceiling. You start as an apprentice in that 40 to 50K range.
Right.
You achieve journeyman status. You move into that secure $60,000 to $80,000 bracket, which is already a solid middle-class income.
But that's not the end of the road.
No, the real ceiling breaker is getting your master license and then making the jump to business ownership.
So hitting 6 figures is the expectation for an established pro.
It absolutely is. A successful master tradesperson who owns their own business,
Right.
They're commanding owner income of $100,000, $200,000 or more.
And some do much better than that.
The really successful ones, especially those in industrial or commercial work, are well into the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Or more.
And all of that security is local. It can't be transferred. It can't be outsourced.
And it comes without that crushing burden of student debt that holds so many people back in their 20s and 30s.
And for those who don't want to own a business, who want to stay as employees, the benefits are often incredible, especially in the unions.
If you're in a unionized trade, like the IBEW for electricians, the compensation package is often way more than just the salary.
You're talking health insurance, retirement.
Excellent health insurance, robust retirement plans, and pension schemes. The kind of long-term security that's getting incredibly rare in corporate America.
What I find most compelling, I think, is that clear path to owning a business. In so many fields, you're an employee for life. Here, your income is capped only by your own drive.
And that ownership path is fundamentally protected. First, the service is essential and local. You have to be there.
Right.
And second, the mandatory licensing, the journeyman and master certifications, creates a huge enforceable barrier to entry. It protects your market share. It prevents the field from getting oversaturated.
When a customer has a burst pipe at midnight, that's a non-negotiable service.
Yeah.
And they will pay a premium for it.
Exactly. The business model is recession resistant. It's inflation proof because physical repairs are not discretionary spending.
So let's talk about the absolute top earners. Where is the intersection of traditional skill and modern tech that's driving the highest pay?
The very top earners are all operating at that intersection. We call it the hybrid strategy. Trades plus tech.
Right.
They aren't just masters of the traditional skills, they're mastering the integration of the physical and the digital.
So if a young person is starting out now, what specific technologies should they focus on to become that premium worker?
3 core areas. First, smart building systems and IoT sensor networks. Second, building automation and advanced controls, which means you need to understand programming logic.
And third?
Third is critical EV charging and distributed energy. So solar, battery storage, and grid tie expertise.
So we're talking about an electrician who also understands network cabling, automation protocols, and solar systems.
That person is exponentially more valuable than a generalist.
And what's their earning potential?
As a specialized employee, you're starting at $100,000, easily hitting $150K or more in some areas. But as a business owner with that specialty, especially in this frantic data center market, the potential is $200,000 to $500,000 or more. The future of the trades is high tech.
Okay, let's pivot to what might be the single biggest untapped resource we have to solve this massive skills gap.
The gender gap.
Right now, the skilled trades are overwhelmingly male-dominated.
The disparity it's stark.
Yeah.
And it's a massive economic inefficiency. Women represent only 3 to 4% of skilled tradespeople overall.
3 to 4%.
And if you look at the specific jobs we're talking about, only 2.9% of electricians are women. Just 2.2% of plumbers are women.
2.2%.
And nationally, only 8% of all apprentices are women.
So you have these high-paying, secure, AI-proof jobs with a clear path to ownership, and they're effectively closed off to half the population.
But that historical bias is finally starting to crack.
What does the data show?
The data is starting to show a really significant shift. The number of women in registered apprenticeship programs surged a remarkable 214% between 2015 and 2024.
214%. That is a staggering jump. It suggests that when the opportunity is made clear, the interest is there.
It proves that when the economic reality overrides the cultural stigma, women are ready and willing to enter these fields.
This isn't just a social issue. It's an enormous economic opportunity for the next generation.
As this infrastructure boom continues, women entering these high-demand, high-wage, AI-proof fields stand to gain a significant, even generational, economic advantage.
We know half the current workforce is leaving in the next decade. If we can successfully get more women into these paid apprenticeship programs, it solves multiple national crises at once.
It addresses the labor shortage, it helps with the housing crisis, and it directly tackles gender-based wage disparity.
It's an economic necessity.
It is. The industry needs hundreds of thousands of new hires every year just to keep up. The future workforce in the trades must be diverse, simply out of economic need.
Okay, let's bring it all together. This deep dive has shown why the skilled trades are really the ultimate protection play in the age of AI.
First takeaway, the AI and data center boom ensures long-term astronomical demand for these physical trades. We're talking over $1 trillion in spending in the next few years.
Second, the automation risk is minimal, 5 to 15%. Why? Job site unpredictability, mandatory licensing, and the need for human judgment and dexterity. A robot just can't do it.
And third, these trades offer a direct, debt-free path to a 6-figure income. They give you unparalleled job security and a clear route to owning your own lucrative business.
Now, for your actionable exercise, we don't want you to just listen to this. We want you to explore it.
So your first step is simple. Go online and research the local journeyman and master pay rates in your area.
See the actual numbers for yourself. Compare that to a path that starts with $50,000 or $100,000 of debt.
And here's the crucial step, the one most people will skip.
What is it?
Call a local electrical or plumbing company. Ask them if you can shadow a technician for a day.
Actually go out and see the work.
See the reality of it. Ask them about the complexity, the physical demands, the real career path. Most tradespeople are proud of their work, and they'll give you an honest appraisal. It's the fastest way to replace old stereotypes with real-world data.
It is. And unless you see the opportunity for yourself.
I think so.
Let me leave you with a final provocative thought. We have proven that the economy desperately needs skilled people to build and maintain the physical world that supports our digital one. The question is no longer whether these jobs are secure or if they pay well. They are, And they do. The real question is whether you are willing to let an outdated stigma about dirty work prevent you from achieving real financial and career immunity.
The stigma is other people's problem. The opportunity is entirely yours to seize.
Thank you for joining us for this crucial deep dive.
Join us next time for Episode 9, Corporate Survival, How to Keep Your White-Collar Job When AI Comes for Your Department.
We're pivoting back to find the protected roles inside the industries that are most threatened. We will see you then.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time on Surviving AI.